In a world where things almost make sense, and most everything is interesting and mildly unique, it's a place that feels somewhat familiar and has the suspicious comfort of a loving semi-omnipresence. You are on the outskirts of Loutopia. Sit back and relax, or tense up and march around. Please welcome your host of Loutopia, Lou Angel Wolf.
Oh, so good to hear my name again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Loutopia podcast. I'm Lou Angel Wolf, and we're spraying cats. Yeah, man. We got a full docket tonight. That's what we're talking about. Full dockets. Yeah, all right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Immediately to my right, my co-host, Michael Merberg.
Hiya, Lou. Nice
How are you, buddy?
I'm good.
Looking good, man. And over there on mic number 3, it's Chris Gorges.
Yellow.
He's the producer, and he slides things and turns knobs and whatnot. Well, here we are, folks. It's the 20th of February. Yes, I love those knobs. And it's actually my mom and dad's anniversary. It would have been their 60th had my dad made it. My mom's here, but, you know, it's kind of lonely. Party of one. Hello.
I don't mean to sound crap. Are you allowed to celebrate? Are you supposed to celebrate after, like, you know, like when I never understood. Yeah, like when Elvis died, they're like, you know, Elvis would have been. I'm like, yeah, but he isn't.
Right.
He wasn't.
I get it. It's just superfluous.
It's okay to say it's his birthday, but I mean, he would have been. Yeah.
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 He would have been a lot of things.
I know, right?
The reality of it is,
I never got that.
he's
He would have
slowly
been.
turning to dust.
Right.
And-
He's nothing.
And he's elsewhere.
He's elsewhere.
He's
Elsewhere.
his bone bag
Elsewhere.
is here. His
Yeah.
bone bag.
Maybe.
You know.
I just never got. It's the whole. I only said it only because I've just come out of my father's dying, and
Yeah.
you know, we had the ash thing, and my sister took the ashes up to the. And I was like, I don't. She goes, Or you want to keep? I'm like, no, I died. And I don't. No.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and I don't mean to offend anybody by saying that, because some people, that's very serious business.
Oh
the
yeah,
ashes.
and
Especially if it's their cat.
Yeah, almost more than the regular family at some point.
yeah. I don't have. You know, I'm not like a ceremonial celebratory person. I forget things, birthdays, anniversaries, stuff like that. Thank goodness for Facebook.
Yeah.
Reminding me of all my friends' birthdays. And then I have some days where I'm not like inclusive on Facebook. I just glance through it real quick and don't do much. And I miss some people's birthdays. So if you're listening to the show and you're my friend on Facebook and I missed your birthday, believe me, it was not on purpose.
And, you know, if you missed this show and you're his friend on Facebook, you deserve it anyway.
Yeah, hold on a second. Michael, we had a wonderful weekend, and tell the people while I blow my nose.
Yeah. We had a CE5 get-together at Darby Ranch involving 20 people or so, and 8 of whom were first-time contactees. And we had a training session, and we made contact. So it was Lou was there. It was really kind of interesting. Started off with a couple orbs before the contact started, and then we followed it up with God, those are unearthly sneezes, man.
Those are cat sneezes.
Yeah, it must be like
Are you allergic to cats?
Terribly.
cat
Oh,
pollen.
okay,
season.
because I was like, if you brought that death flu in here from the outside
No,
world,
dude. If you could sell these two things here and just get them out of my life.
if I could sell them,
Please sell 'em.
How about if I can't sell them? How about if I just close the doors so they don't come in here?
Okay. Or keep squirting them with water. That's fun. But anyway, for those of you who are listening for the first time, CE5 is Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. It's kind of Michael's / hobby.
Well, it's my raison d'etre. It's a human-initiated contact with extraterrestrials. And we did it this weekend with the members of FREE, which is the Foundation for the Research into Extraterrestrial Encounters. Mm-hmm. So a big think tank group of people. Then we managed to get a hold of the Miami contingency, and there were a couple people that were involved in the South American contact group RAMA. And we had numerous contacts. You got home a little bit. You went home a little bit
I
early.
left a little early.
Yeah, and towards the end of the night, we had, I don't know if you left before after the streaker that appeared. But then we had
there was the one really cool shooting star with the long tail.
Right, that wasn't a shooting star. That was a streaker. It was about 3,500 feet over the ground. You don't get you don't get shooting stars. It was the same kind of craft that appeared for me and Rose.
Really?
The night before the.
Well, I saw that.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
And then later on in the evening, there were only 4 of us out in the field: Ray, Lee, me, and Ken.
The diehards.
The diehards. And about 1:45, we saw a wingless craft.
Really?
Come out? Yeah, come out of the north, and with an extremely bright light, and it kind of floated and passed overhead, making an odd sound I'd never heard before.
Really?
Yeah, we couldn't identify it as anything other than just a UFO. You know, if it's one of those government craft that they're working on, that could have made sense. And whether if it was otherworldly, I don't know. We just but we're all kind of amazed at it because it maintained its height at a ground speed level that was so slow that any aircraft that I know of would have fallen out of the sky. So.
And I wasn't minimizing it by saying it was your hobby. There was another sentence to come, but I had to sneeze.
I'm not worried about it.
It's incredibly interesting, and especially at this particular time in global history, we're going to have some sort of alien contact. Okay. Now, whether it's going to be the genuine or whether it's going to be some government superimposed thing, I think that's where you got to start. That's where you got to start understanding and fact checking, and
that's where the heartfelt connection comes up. Comes into play. And I ask you, when you saw the streaker, what you thought was a meteorite. Meteorites happen. They have normally parabolic curves, and they have a heat signature that follows them, and they usually start burning as soon as they hit the Earth's atmosphere. They don't wait till about 3,500 feet to start lighting up. But when you saw that craft, did your heart jump?
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. Yeah. It passed the litmus test.
Yeah, it was really cool, and I've been looking to the skies my whole life and have spent countless hours. And I wish I had stayed a little longer, but I got a skinny girlfriend.
Yeah, you got,
and she gets cold.
Yeah, you wore flip-flops, though.
I know.
It got down to freezing out there.
I was trying to be like Merberg. Mike's one of those guys Mike's one of those guys that wears shorts in the middle of the winter. So I was just trying to.
And then laughs at other people for doing the same thing because they can't hack. You know what I mean?
I don't do that.
Like, no. I did what you did, but my body isn't the same as your body. But thanks for sharing.
Oh, and I forgot to bring your slippers.
It's okay.
But anyway,
they are mighty comfortable.
They're nice.
They're so comfortable. I'm not expecting them.
You took the man's slippers?
Well, I wore flip flops out there.
Yeah.
Okay, my magic ones, the ones that say "Jesus loves you" when you walk through the sand.
Okay.
And.
They got a microchip in for that?
It was cold. It was in the 40s, right?
It was pretty close to. It was as cold. It was bizarrely cold.
Yeah, especially right there in the field there.
Yeah, temperature dropped real quick.
So, and I had and I spent the most wonderful several hours grounding, just lying on the earth, and man, it really felt good. And it gave me like new energy for this week. I have great energy this week. But what I was saying is this is the time. This is part of the times that are being revealed to us that are alive right now. And I've often thought why you wound up in particular. Certain people landed on Earth during particular time frames, and I really, really think that this is a time for us because we have a dual understanding. People our age, and I'm in my mid-50s, and we're all close to that. We had enough of the American pie, and now we're entering this age of Aquarius or whatever. And we still hang on to things that are sensible, but yet things that are truly mysterious are really starting to appeal to us, especially after you've been, through long enough in life that you've had some experiences, and you go, all that stuff that I used to think was, had a pat explanation, it doesn't. And we do need to get to the topic of today's show, but and we'll get back to this though. But I just wanted to, and all that ties in with this. Everything is moving so fast right now. Time is not what it used to be. I've always been a guy that, I never minded my calendar being full. I look forward to things to do, but it's just happening right now that every day of my especially during my week, my Sundays kind of dim down on purpose, but man, during the week, I'm booked up. I got phone calls to return. I got people reaching out. I'm reaching out to people. I've got a lot of energy, and I'm very, very grateful for it. But man, there's just you can totally see. Like one thing I never understood: pharmacists and nurses, they always have to work these really long ass shifts. They work 12-hour shifts or 14-hour shifts. And let me tell you, at the end of that shift, you're tired, especially if you've been in a hospital environment and, the machine that goes ding and all that stuff is going on around you. And it's such a hotbed for mistakes. Because, that's what happens to me when I get too tired. Right. I don't pay attention to everything that I normally do, and I make a mistake.
Right, stresses your whole system out.
Yeah, so I never understood why those people had to work such long shifts. And, and my ex-wife, Melinda, wonderful lady and one of the best pharmacists ever, she, the thing about pharmacists, being a pharmacist is you have to be 100% every time. There's no mistakes. There's not like, you can't just, sometimes those of us in other types of professions, we got like, we're having a Monday, whatever, I'm going to take an extra long lunch, whatever. There's none of that. It's 100% every time, double check it, triple check it, however their process goes. And I've always been constantly amazed by that. How you can just be so accurate all the time. And people wonder, why, the worst thing, when she was a retail pharmacist, it was really funny. People, they would get these condescending people at the counter. The guy's sick or not feeling good, waiting for his Z-Pack or whatever it is. And he would have that real condescending tone. He'd be like, okay, look, you take the pills from the big bottle and you put them in the little bottle and you give them to me. They had that type of...
And if you got any extra oxys, throw them on it. I got a big bag here.
When the reality of it is the paperwork and the structuring to actually hand you those pills is quite intricate. And that's why it takes 45 minutes, even if you're waiting to get your prescription, to make sure. And it is that, double check, triple check, quadruple check system that they have in place.
Yeah, because if you don't and somebody gets screwed up, you have people like me who used to be here.
Yes, exactly.
Because people die from that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what is the topic? Being a pharmacist?
No, the topic.
Hey, he doesn't have the cards this week. Wait, he's hiding them. Yeah, we're not so far off trail that he's got to use them.
He already flashed me the topic card.
Okay.
But I appreciate that. I really, really do.
I know you do.
But what the topic is being overloaded, learning how to, take this apart and put it back together in a reasonable fashion. That's what I've had to do the last couple of days. I mean, literally, my day job at Armor Tech Windows and Doors has been extraordinarily full. I've had so much stuff to do. People waiting on me. I ran 6 appointments yesterday. And about 4:00 in the afternoon, I was driving to my next appointment. I had to stop, pull over, and just meditate, look at my book. And I held my book up like, universe, can you see this book? make sure it all goes okay, and and I had to take some deep breaths, and
relax, and then everything fell into place.
it did, and everything went real well. Today was better. Tomorrow's going to be even mo better, and but I know there's a lot of people experiencing that very same thing.
Yeah, when you experience that feeling, you got to realize that it's ego that's reacting.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's why time matters to people with egos. And people who are extremely arrogant too, because your time doesn't matter to them. But the bottom line is, when you get that anxious feeling, it's ego reacting to the kind of constructs you're imposing on it.
Yeah.
So once you realize that and let go of that, do your meditation, breathe. You can at a stoplight, you can half a minute.
You do forget to breathe,
going.
man.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
forget
It's all
to
about
breathe.
the breathing.
And if your breathing is shallow, you're not getting full oxygen to your blood, and then you start making these quirky, jerky decisions.
Right. They've also found that brief periods of meditation are worth essentially 4 hours of complete round REM sleep.
Really?
So, yeah.
Say that again.
Brief periods of meditation are worth at least one full REM cycle.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
That's so. If you meditate in the afternoon, just take some time and do it. You'll find yourself rejuvenated. You'll find that your brain has started to absorb all the kind of chemicals that have been knocking around and making you tired and screwing up your thought process, and then you'll be good for a while.
Yeah. Well, it's whatever it is, but there's just been like the last a week or so. I mean, I've been tired. I'm blaming it on my hectic schedule, but there's just times in the afternoon where I need a nap.
Right.
Why can't this American society embrace the siesta?
Right.
I think it's one of the smartest things, especially in Florida. Now, even though today, here it is, February 20th, 2018, it was 90 degrees today
Right.
in Florida.
Yep.
Now, and in the summertime,
Hit a new high today.
new high, was that a
New high,
record
yep.
today?
It's actually 89 degrees downtown Tampa today, and it was a new record. Last record was about 25 years ago.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, because it was warm.
It's hot.
And I remember, I don't remember that particular day, but I do, but I do remember in the summertime, from 2 to 4 in the afternoon, it is absolutely brutal out there.
Hot and oppressive.
I mean, it's with our humidity, we get that feels like temperature. They'll tell you it's 94 on the ground, but the feels like is like 106.
Right.
And that's a perfect time for a nap.
Right.
Just go in, cool off, take those 2 hours out of the day. See, that's what we ought to incorporate the lunch hour into that siesta time.
Right.
So you can have your little,
Good idea.
yeah, you can have your little, you can eat the way you're supposed to.
Yeah, and forget those 15-minute breaks. So you get an hour and a half of just downtime.
Yeah, and you know what it is those 15-minute breaks and that half hour for lunch and that other 15-minute break at the end of the day. That is that's the downside of capitalism.
Well, that they got the 15-minute breaks, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. They were traditionally known as cigarette breaks.
Yes.
So people who had the jonesing for tobacco could step outside and smoke, and the other people who didn't smoke are sitting around on the inside going, "What do I do with this extra time that is worth nothing to me now?" And they won't let me extend my lunch.
Yeah, but it wasn't like we were out there napping either. Okay, so it wasn't like, that was a smoke break. Maybe a nap too. Nobody was napping. You go out there and have a cigarette. We're out there for what, 10 minutes?
Well,
5
yeah,
minutes?
well, maybe, but the thing is it prejudices other people who could actually take that time, and if you added to their lunch hour, they'd be just as productive, and they could actually run out and get something done during lunch if they weren't just lying down to go to sleep.
Well, I think eventually the state, at least the state of Florida, included I think it's the state, most states included a 2 10-minute breaks. It's supposed to be guaranteed to the worker on either side of the day. That's 10 minutes. It's not, you can't really run an errand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if you, I never held my employees to that. So, if you want to take a long lunch, just get back and get your work done. That's all.
Yeah.
But not everybody's that way.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what I'm saying is this capitalistic free market society, they're squeezing it out of you, man. I mean, and especially, medical people. Chris, you've seen it through your whole life. I mean, those medical people are so overworked.
Oh, I would, dude. The last job before I left the last job, or before I was let go, and I wasn't let go for nefarious reasons, just cut her budget and was like, I can't use it anymore after 16 years. They were complaining that I was in the bathroom more than like once a day, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Well, where else do you do your blow?
Well, yeah, right. But I mean, no, I was like, I can't go to the bathroom now without you guys timing it. Like, what the hell is that all about?
Yeah,
there's 4 of us in the office. You know what I mean?
Well, employers are get stupid too, because it's like, oh my God, you're going to collect unemployment if we have to let you go, and that'll cause my unemployment rates to go up. Yep. The amount of money that employers pay for unemployment rates is so infinitesimally small that if they're actually worrying about having to put people on unemployment, they're nuts.
Yeah,
flat out nuts.
Yep. And they're not running their company.
the country or their company.
Yeah, this country hasn't been run right in a long time.
Dude, I know. I said this to somebody like 6 or 7, maybe it was 8 years ago. I started noticing on television different politicians and different like talking heads, when they meant to say country, they'd say company. It started slipping out of their mouths like more and more. Yeah, dude. And it was like 10 years ago that I was like, that's interesting. And then I was like, what? There it is again. Then like a month later, I'm like, oh shit, there it is again. What the hell? Very odd, dude.
The United Corporations of America.
I'm telling you, man.
It almost has a ring to it.
Right. They call it Exxon.
Exxon or
Rothschild.
Goldman Sachs or whatever.
Yeah.
And that is becoming more and more prevalent. You're noticing the gap is really, really expanding. I was looking at some amazing statistics the other day, and I didn't have time to fact check them, but they were saying like 40% of America lives at the poverty level. Mm-hmm. Is that true?
Yeah, it's growing. We have more poverty now than we did before Johnson and the Great Society.
And it's like functional poverty. Yeah. People are able to live just barely.
Yeah,
but don't have any fun while you're doing it. You can't afford any fun.
Well, I really feel fortunate. I've kind of hit my stride in my job and my career, and I waited long enough. For the longest time, I always equated my work as being like, on Coyote Roadrunner cartoons, when the coyote's running and the earth is crumbling just behind his heels.
Right.
I've always felt that was me. I was always just a half a step ahead of disaster.
Yeah, the last piglet to the tit.
Well, finally, I think I muscled the piglet ahead of me, and I have access to a tit now. So
it's all gnarled. You got a gnarled tit.
Mama's going to be baking.
Well, at our age, they're all gnarled. But anyway.
Gnarled.
And look like a road map in New Jersey.
The best word ever.
Not true. But in my particular case. But anyway.
It's nice to know.
So what we're trying to figure out, folks, and the phone lines are open. What's the phone number here, Chris?
The phone lines are not open.
They're not open?
Dude, we tried that twice, and you got trolled twice.
So what?
Twice. You want to talk to some snotty-nosed punk?
No. Hold on. Well, you're the producer, dude, and I know that you know what's best.
Yeah.
So
next week.
Next week?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do it next
So
week.
all you trolls that are listening tonight.
Yeah, they're loading up.
Now you get 3 listeners, so say hello to them.
Hi, listeners.
And tell everybody where else we're going to be heard on right now. Hopefully IRN might have us on.
Yes, we're on the IRN Broadcast Network. That's irnbroadcast.com. They simulcast the show every week. You can also hear us on Podomatic. But right now we're here live on YouTube.
Yeet.
And this will also get shared on Facebook.
Yep.
And, thank you so much for dialing in. I actually had a minute today to put out a little, hey, we're going to be live in about an hour.
Sweet.
I had a little time to do that. And that's one of the other things, too, because this show is important to me. And it's my favorite thing. It's my favorite thing of all the little things I do. And, maybe stand-up. I don't know. But anyway, I like this a lot. So, but I have not had the time or a lot of the time or figured out my time well enough to do the correct promotions for this. And I I know that we share a lot of information that people really, want to hear and need to hear. Whether we're just repeating something else from somewhere else, I don't know. But we try to
had some good guests on, man. You've had some good guests.
We've had some wonderful shows, and I really, really think that if I had, I need to organize my time better so I can get this stuff going. I keep a day runner. I work by appointment.
Need to get organized.
Yeah, and I will tell you, Pamela is just amazing at organizing stuff. She, you know what it was? She's an attorney for one, and two, when she was going through law school, she worked at UPS, so she really knows how to organize stuff.
Right.
Everything in my house is stacked by size, and
Ready to be shipped to some
the heavy
city
boxes
somewhere.
are on the bottom.
Everything's labeled. Yeah.
Yeah, even me.
Wow.
In the bedroom, the bedposts are wrapped in blankets.
Ready to ship.
Go.
Yeah. So anyway, what I'm saying, folks, is I know there's other people out there experiencing the same thing, and I think probably what spoiled it for me was I had all those years as a stand-up comic where I was just a stand-up comedian, and you had so many hours a day off. If you were on the road, and like say you were, and back then clubs used to run Tuesday through Sunday, Wednesday through Sunday. Sometimes some clubs ran 7 days a week. You'd get into town, you'd hit that first first couple shows, and then you get settled in. You're in a hotel, you're in a comedy condo. You could get your sleep, and then you could start. You maybe work on your show for an hour or so during the day. But a lot of time, you had a lot of downtime, and I got to tell you, I've always said it. Even when I was doing it, I go, I'm paying for this. I'm paying for this now because time is expensive, and and now I realize time is expensive because I'm literally paying cash money for it now. If I want to take some time off, I work on a straight commission. So I'm going to miss appointments. I'm not going to be talking to people. I'm not going to be in front of families and all that other stuff. So your time is expensive, but so is your sanity. And that's what we're trying to figure out. And now in the second half of the Loutopia podcast, we're going to have one of my favorite people on this whole planet, Beth Snyder, is going to be here. And she's my personal hypnotherapist and the hypnotherapist to the stars. She has it's been a long time since I've had a session because when she opened up the Om Shop, which is a beautiful metaphysical shop down in Sarasota, a lot of her spare time got taken away too. So we just haven't been able to get on the same page the same week. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Loutopia podcast. I'm Lou Angel Wolf on the air here with Michael Merberg, Chris Gorgeous. Beth Snyder's coming up in the second half. We're going to take a short break. I'm going to stretch my legs and catch my breath, and we'll be back. We'll try to figure out the perils of multitasking and how we can make our lives even better.
Seen that in before seen that in my life. Whoa. I never before seen that in my life. Whoa. I never before seen that in my life. Now 2 peas in a pod, to me it's kind of odd. Homeless man staring at the sky, cursing God, calling him a fraud, cause his goodness have been robbed. Bringing it back to start with a wink and a nod. Columns 24 and 20 packs of smokes. Clearing out the cabin where he kept the 64. WrestleMania all day long. What could go wrong? Looking sheet to the head, knocking pieces for the soul. And I'm picking up the pieces of gray matter on the floor. Try to get my IQ back to 164. And I try as I may, I try as I might. I try arm and slash cause I'm cloud strive. If I think that you can, I think that you will. Now take it with a glass of water and 2 pills. And you'll feel better every day. Well, yeah, 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 yeah. I never before seen that in my life. Whoa. I never before seen that in my life. Whoa. I never before seen that in my life. Whoa. I never before seen that in my life. Now just sitting reminiscing about the days of the position. Sexual statues up in the kitchen. CC no care, we drunk off one bed. Laughing so hard that we burst into tears. Now Jizzy was a man, and man it was a man. Now coffee stain turning inside out, that's the plan. I bruised up my knees trying to fight off them bees. Crying if you will, take it down and knock the please. Now 1 lesbian and 5 virgin males. We all getting laid into wish well. I tried really hard, I tried so hard, and I stopped because I felt just short. If I think you can do it, I know we can be it. So why don't we get together and see if it works out for the better or worse. We'll do it to the end, of course. I never before seen that in my life. Whoa. I never before seen that in my life. Whoa. I never before seen that in my life. Whoa. I never before seen that in my life.
In a world where things almost make sense, and most everything is interesting and mildly unique, it's a place that feels somewhat familiar and has the suspicious comfort of a loving semi-omnipresence. You are on the outskirts of Loutopia. Sit back and relax, or tense up and march around. Please welcome your host of Loutopia, Lou Angel Wolf.
Hey, babies, welcome back for the second half of Loutopia. I'm Lou Angel Wolf. Here in the studio, Michael Merberg.
Good to be back.
Dude, it's always so nice to see you. And on the weeks we don't do shows, I really, really miss you.
Well, thanks, man.
You got that nice big brother thing, like you're gonna, give me a noogie or something.
Yeah, avuncular.
Then it's my kid brother Chris Gorgeous over there.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching on YouTube, and every once in a while, if you see like what looks like a spray of water going across the screen, Chris has new cats.
And prostate problems.
So every once in a while, you'll see a little squirt of water. Well, that's the cats in here amongst the electronics. So Chris is doing his very, very best to keep the cat population out of the studio. But they are cute. They're both beautiful cats, and we love them.
I'm a veritable Bob Barker.
Yeah, even though they make me talk like Elmer Fudd sometimes.
Spade new to your cats.
Hey, that's right.
Either you do it or I will.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this week we're talking about just being overwhelmed and overbooked and
Time management. You told me it was time management.
time manglement.
That's why I made this graphic.
Look at that beautiful time
yeah, but you
management.
got to stop changing the title on me, damn it.
Well, just dude, you got lips. Use them.
Oh, what?
on.
God, it's 10:10 already.
Clocks are always 10:10 in every. Like when you look at them in magazines and stuff, they're always 10:10. I don't know why, but you know who's going to help us with this is the
Because 420 won't sell any products.
420. Yeah, it's like, hey, there's only one hand on that clock, bro. It's 420. Anyway, like I promised you the first half, it's the lovely and talented Beth Snyder. Hi, honey.
Wow, good evening. It sounds like you guys are having a good time with pussy spritzing and all kinds of stuff going on up there.
Wet pussy, nothing like it.
The pussy spritzing.
Oh, my goodness.
It's one of the. It's a
Can I-
highlight.
Can I just say this, though? Most annoying pussies ever. Okay?
These two.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's
Just
'cause they got
annoying
teeth.
Pussies. Nah, they're all over the place. They think they own the damn house.
Now the little black one, his name is what?
Sans.
Sans, which means without cat.
Yeah.
And
It's a character from a video game my son plays.
and the smoky gray one is named
Smokey.
Smokey. Okay.
Yeah, one original on that
Took
one.
you a while to figure that one out.
That one kind of fell into place. The Sans.
I like Sans. That's a great name.
Yeah, it's a character from a video game that Jake plays called Undertale. And all the little hip little 8-year-olds know about the game. So if
Yeah?
a friend come over and he calls his cat Sans, the kid's going to go, oh, my God, you named your name.
Oh, you named it Cat Sans.
So it's like,
Did you look under its tail to figure out if it's a male or a female?
nah, it's a tuxedo cat, and you don't mess with a tuxedo cat that way.
Really? Is that how that goes?
It's a tuxedo cat, man. It's like messing with James Bond. You don't do that. Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. And wow, that's cool. And so, is there like a cat game like the Bronies, or is it a cat video game?
No, it has nothing to do with cats at all.
Oh, okay.
Actually, it's a bunch of skeletons and stuff. But the graphic, it's like really pixelated graphics, old school game. And it's an RPG game where they go around a map and find things and have battles and stuff. But his character is like a black and white skeleton. So I thought, we were thinking about it, and I was like, he's black and white. And unlike most tuxedo cats, he has the white comes on his top lip, like where it's supposed to be black. And like half of his upper lip is white.
Yeah.
So it's a little jacked. And
It's like he's eating ice cream. Or
yeah, I don't know what the deal is. Yeah. So, yeah, like he just like dipped his face in the paint when he wasn't supposed to. Like, oh, shit.
A tuxedo with a hair lip.
Yeah.
Bun, James Bun.
Yeah, they make it very hard to those cats make it very hard to manage my time because I'm chasing around. It's a whole different thing.
Double Devin.
I'm Double Devin, damn it.
Beth, I don't know. I apologize on the behalf of Mike. I know what happened to him.
I would love to do
I
it.
started it,
What's that?
I set you all up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to do another movie with Octopussy. Well, Beth of Beth Snyder Hypnosis, Snyder like the pretzel. I'm sure that is one of your topics of conversation with your patients / clients. Do you call them patients or clients?
Clients, yeah. I'm
Okay.
not a physician.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Clients. Good
Yeah,
deal. Okay.
yeah, clients. Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people
Until they don't pay, and then I just say goodbye. No.
And she loses her patience.
Then I call them strangers. No, just kidding.
then they're bums who owe me. But
That's right.
Then they're defendants.
There you go.
yeah, that's funny. You're being summonsers. But I know a lot of people got to come to you and just go, man, I just can't sort out my time. I just can't stay. I can't stay current with my life. What is your what's like? Get your life together 101. What do you tell people to do first?
Well, you're talking about I think focus, right, is important. So, feeling focused. And a lot of times, I use a lot of NLP techniques, neuro-linguistic programming, which really help just shift perspective. Because sometimes when we're feeling really overwhelmed or we're feeling like our to-do list is too long, it's really just kind of how we're perceiving all the things that need to be done. So, getting that perspective shift on it can be really helpful as well to allow you to prioritize. Because we can't multitask. We think we can, but we can't. We can really only do one thing at a time. So
especially
if we're
if you're
trying
a
to
male.
do a lot of, go ahead.
Especially if you're a male. We
Oh,
are
for sure. Yeah,
impervious
your
to
corpus callosum
multitasking.
is thin.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah, because I know. In fact, I heard a funny joke. What kind of woman can cook dinner with her right hand, feed the kids with her left hand, make the bed with her right foot, and make love to her husband with her left foot?
That beats the hell out of me.
It's a Swiss Army wife.
Ooh.
That's funny.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, it's all the way from.
And start a fire.
It's a Swiss joke.
Swiss joke, yeah.
Yeah.
All you're
Tom-
missing is the bottle opener.
Nobody in Switzerland is telling that joke. Okay?
No,
Let's be honest.
they're probably not.
They didn't write that. That was a dude in Detroit that wrote that joke.
Hey, the Swiss don't have good senses of humor anyhow.
And I heard one more while we're here in Jokeville. How come nobody hardly ever plays poker in Africa?
I don't know.
Too many cheetahs.
And you ain't lying about that one either.
Monkeying around.
Okay.
This time could be managed a little bit better. I'll just say that.
Let's speed it up and get rid of the puns.
It's a cheesy joke. I love cheesy jokes. I do. Well, Beth, and what I was sharing in the first half is like my calendar is full. I got all these appointments. I'm doing stand up. I'm doing the podcast. I'm doing the car talk show on Saturday mornings, and I've performed better in the past, and I forget how to get back there. Because what I find about myself is when I'm in this situation, I wind up doing a pretty good job at everything, but I don't do an excellent job at anything. And that
I'm reading a
bothers
book
me.
right now called I'm sorry. There's a book I'm reading right now called The Dip, which is a really interesting book. You might like to read that, but it's about, it's about learning how to fail. And that when we have a lot of things going on like that, kind of considering, kind of pick a lane, right? What do you want to master?
Right.
So,
sure. Yeah.
So, you're not going to be able to be the master of everything that you want to do. I'm never going to be a figure skater. So if I were to go into that to try to be, an Olympic figure skater, there'd be a really low dip for me, right? Where I would have to, go through all that grueling hard work, to try to get to, a place of excellency. And being the best in the world, right? And that's what this book kind of talks about, is being the best in the world. But consider that the world, you can kind of shrink that down, right? So if your world is Sarasota County,
Right.
or if your world is, the company that you work in, whatever it might be, whatever you're pursuing. But if if the chance of you not being able to be the best at that, because there's a lot of great rewards for being the best, right? When we're the best, we're in more high demand, right? So we can charge more, we can make more money. So there are a lot of benefits to being the best. I think it was it Lee Iacocca that said, if we can't be number 1 or 2, then get out. So,
sure.
So it's something to consider that, if you have a lot going on and you're feeling really overwhelmed and stressed, that maybe there are some things you can say, you know what, it's okay to fail at that. It's okay to quit. It's okay to say that's just, I'm never going to be the best in the world at that, right?
Right.
Or that's not going to really, what's the ROI for me on that, right? If it's something you enjoy doing and it feeds you in a certain way. But, there's something to be said for, kind of honing your energy and kind of, picking a lane and saying, you know what, that's really kind of worth all of my time and energy.
Yeah.
Because if we do spread ourselves too thin, then we never become the master of anything, and we don't get to enjoy the rewards of that.
Well, that's exactly right. I find I happen to be involved in 3 wonderful worlds. My day job is rewarding financially. It's not incredibly difficult. I've done it enough to where I'm pretty good at it. And did you guys see the spray? Did you see the spray that time? Because there's definitely some aquatic cat assault going on right now. Apparently, the cat with the tuxedo lip made his way back in here. And it's funny, when I saw you close that door, Chris, I go, that's cat size. That cat can get in. That cat's going to come back in.
I'm new at this.
You knew.
They're like
I know,
rats.
You were pet free for the longest time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had pets on and off in my life. I
me
can live
too.
with or without them, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm kind of that way too. I am really hankering for a dog, though.
It cuts into your time, baby.
Yep.
I know. See, then
Everything.
and then I'd be a half-assed dog lover.
Oh, you got to go away for 3 days? Well,
Yeah.
you're not just going to be able to up and do that.
Yeah, and drop the dog off at the pound, $80 a day, and he comes back sick, $1,000,
Yeah.
hair clot bill, and then
Hair
you're,
clot. You hate say hair clot? Hair clot.
Well, Beth,
that's just for the
Hair
barber.
clot.
Beth and Nancy have been privileged with living with one of the nicest creatures on earth, Stevie Nicks, their 4-legged pal, who a very, very complex woman, Stevie Nicks, but she is, but she's so beautiful, and to watch now this is, and I tell you what, Beth, I got to give you all the credit in the world, because Stevie Nicks has turned out to be a wonderful, wonderful animal.
Can you tell us what kind of animal it is, for God's sake?
It's a dog.
What kind of a dog?
It's
People need to know. You can't just say that on YouTube. Oh, it's a very vaguely animal type thing that you have.
Well, Beth, you know how many? It's a mix of how many creatures?
Well, from what we understand, the pound, she's a part pit bull.
Okay.
And part of a breed called Basenji, which is an interesting little breed. They're a barkless dog.
What?
So they make this howling noise. Yeah.
Oh,
so that's
man.
where she gets. That's why I call her Stevie Nicks, because she sings and I should put some videos up of her
You
singing
should.
with the harmonica and stuff.
She's singing to your
sure.
harmonica?
Yeah,
How
she
have you
does
not
it
Play
back.
the harmonica, she'll sing and sing. If I go, I can even count her in. I'll go a 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3. And she starts singing. It's great.
Oh, my God.
And
She's hilarious.
but what I'm saying is, it was your time commitment to Stevie Nicks that turned her into a good dog, because you got her at the pound, and they told you what? They go, if you take this dog home, what then?
Please don't bring her back. Please don't bring her back. Please find someone to take her. She had already been a 4-time loser, so she had been out, and she was a boomerang dog. She kept finding her way back there. So she's a little sore at me
Yeah.
tonight. I don't know. We were just
Why? Was
playing
she-
around, and she thinks I hurt her somehow.
So she's moody?
So
Is that what
something
it
happened?
is? She
Yeah,
moody?
so she's a little sore at me. She won't look me in the eye right now.
Well, maybe she learned how she was conceived. I mean, a pit bull and a bitch that can't say no.
Well, but what? And when you told me that fact that it was a 4-time loser dog, and the people at the pound said, if you can't handle it, figure something else out. Don't bring her back and go, yeah. You can't just roll your eyes and go, oh, my God.
I can imagine that scene. You walk by,
Right.
the pen, the cage where the dog's, and he's in the back. I could have been somebody. I could have been a contender.
Aw.
Give him away with a cement block.
Hey, nobody believed in me. That was my problem.
I could have been a champion.
And
And now she's a rock star living at your house.
and she's
She's a
awesome.
good girl.
I mean,
she's a
she-
sweet little monkey. Yeah.
She's a little kooky, but whatever. I mean,
It's a dog.
What
can't
does
outrun.
that mean, kooky, though?
Oh
You keep saying
yeah,
that.
I mean she's got deep psychological issues, but she's got abandonment issues, and no, for sure, she's a little, I think, confused if she's male or female, but she's working it out.
She's got identity issues.
Good gravy.
Totally.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Dog has been through psychoanalyst.
I know.
but anyway, again, I admire the time that you put in, because that was what it took to turn that dog into a dog instead of a 5-time loser. Because I know when you first got her, she was very difficult, and you literally, I'm sure you had to go a couple times going, what the hell have we gotten into here? But
for sure. Yeah.
but the fact that you hung with it, and now it's a wonderful creature, and not, this is a vague parallel, but I have a nephew that was just reintroduced to society after he took a little time off to build a road, and he's and
Pursue his license plate career.
yes, and I love the kid, and I know he has a good heart, so I want him to have the best reentry into society. I found him a job, and he started today, and
That's great.
and I told him, I go, dude, I see you stick with the job a couple of weeks. I says, I will. He has some outstanding traffic citations, which have accrued into a lump sum, and he can't get his license back until he pays those fines. I go, you stick with the job a little bit. I said, I'll pay your traffic fines off, and then you can get a driver's license, which will move you up the ladder as far as being a resourceful employee.
Right.
Lou's like, how much are the fines? He's like, $82,000. Okay, well, now we're going to have another talk.
No, but they're almost $800.
Well, let me call my other guy who knows how to change your name and get you a new social security number. Let's just start over.
Yeah, so there, it is. I think it's almost $800, but I'll happily do that, because not having a driver's license is so crippling, and here's a guy that I know he's got a great heart. I know he's a good guy, and I know he just went through a period where he was believing some bad people about stupid things, and he got caught in the act of being an idiot. You see young kids
That's
out
illegal?
there. Yeah, it's a shame it doesn't hurt. It would stop a lot of people if it just didn't, if it hurt a little bit.
Yeah. Well,
So anyway, excuse me.
You've had the most amazing sounds coming out of you this evening.
I know, I'm just so guttural
bring
tonight.
on the cats.
It's like a chemistry thing happening over there. Like a chemistry set, bubbling, gurgling, and popping and stuff. You're like, oh, something's going to happen.
I'm secreting high levels of clear mucus.
No, he's going to blow the back of my house off, I think.
And the cats are all
happening
trying to
over
get
there?
in here. So.
I know. They're jumping on the glass.
Climbing the glass wall.
God damn, it's a monkey show in here this evening.
They're flashing us. Hey!
Should have had Stevie Nicks on, make it a whole deal together.
Oh, but
That's
it could
right.
have been a fiasco.
Well,
So,
speaking of animals, I
Please.
just want to share a little bit of news with you guys.
please.
So I got a call from a movie producer, and they're making this documentary film, and so they needed a hypnotist to regress somebody back to a memory that happened, to kind of relive it and go through it. So it turns out that it's the Bigfoot, the BFRO guys, the Bigfoot research guys.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen that show, Finding Bigfoot.
No.
So the executive producer from that's doing a 45-minute documentary on the swamp ape of Florida. So,
Oh, yeah.
so next Sunday I get to be filmed doing that, where they I regress a man back. I guess he's in his 50s now, so we're going to go back to when he had an encounter with one and shot one when he was a teenager here in Florida. So
That's the
should
legend
be
of.
really fascinating.
Is that the legend of Boggy Creek?
I think so. Well,
Yeah.
it's a swamp ape, so I think Boggy Creek was up in Georgia, wasn't it? Or
I thought it was
Carolina.
Florida. I know there's a Boggy Creek in Florida.
So
I've driven by it.
It
Somebody-
might be then, yeah. Yeah.
Somebody shot a Bigfoot. This
I
got
guess
past.
when he was young,
was
so
gonna say-
I'll learn more about the story. But yeah, so when he was young, that happened. So
got past me.
I was going to say you could hang my
yeah.
slippers outside your door. They want to
Right.
change of footwear. They got them.
So Beth, they're gonna film you,
Really
and you're
draw
gonna
them
do
in.
the you're gonna do the regression, and everything, and they're gonna film all that.
yeah, so
Sweet.
I'll put him through a hypnosis session of going back and reliving and recalling that memory that happened.
dude, that's
so
awesome.
Should be really interesting and fascinating. Yeah.
Well, you're tremendous at past life regressions, and
Especially when it's on Finding Bigfoot. Are you kidding me? That's on Netflix, man.
I know. I'm so excited, right? I love
Hell
it.
yeah!
yeah,
Little cryptozoology hypnosis world kind of meeting. I love it.
that is cool. Well, I hope the guy figures out what happened and where it was.
I hope he
Yeah.
doesn't.
Sorry
it'll
for
be-
Bigfoot.
Yeah,
He's not doing anything, just hanging out, and he gets shot.
you know,
It's like,
Well, we'll find out what the story is. I mean, maybe he didn't mean to. I'm sure he wasn't, going out, with that purpose in mind. But yeah, this is a big, frightening creature if you run into it. I'm sure. So we'll hear about it. We'll find out why that happened. So
Congratulations, that's awesome.
yeah.
well,
yeah, it's going to be fun.
so if that happened, in the 60s or 70s, the actual incident,
Well, he's in his 50s now, so he must be. He would have been
if he was a
a
teenager
teenager
then,
around
so
that
yeah,
time.
it was 70s probably.
late 70s probably.
I wonder if he's like wondering if the skunk ape is gonna or swamp ape's gonna come back and get him.
Yeah.
I can smell
He
you.
might,
I'm gonna-
he might.
Well,
Vendetta.
You should have them shoot that at the Ohm Shop if they can. Are they scouted the location yet?
Yeah, we're gonna do my office.
oh, beautiful.
Okay.
It's more equipped for it, but yeah,
Sure.
it'll be perfect. So.
Sweet.
Yeah, I
Now,
hope I'm able to help him, recall that and, and clear whatever emotional stuff he might need to clear around it and to have, a better understanding. We have all of our memories, it's not like that they go away, but, consciously we can't always access them. So it's something that we can do with hypnosis is to be able to go back and, I've helped a lot of people find jewelry and different things as well. So it's always a
really,
interesting
wow.
thing to go back and,
Well,
yeah, for sure.
I know that, I'm still going back to the fact that he took a shot at it. And because I remember back then, and I do remember the mindset back then, if you saw something you didn't understand, you shot it.
Right.
All my I'd shoot that thing, or I'd shoot it.
Haul it on back. They give me money for it. Damn.
Yeah, well, it could be that. It could have accidentally happened. Maybe he was out, deer hunting or, something.
I think it's more
So
likely
it's
than he
hard to
thought it
say.
was a bear or something. It probably scared him. He thought it was a bear.
Yeah, that's possible
Yeah,
too.
we'll find out. We'll know.
Yeah, that's exciting. When is that going to happen? Soon?
Next Sunday we film
Oh,
that.
damn.
Yeah, so then, and then the film will launch. I guess it's going to launch at a film festival. So I'll keep you up to date how it all goes. It'll be
Nice.
on Amazon and then hopefully Netflix. And
Well-
so it'll be neat.
Well, Beth, we're really proud of you.
Should be a Hulu star.
Yeah, well, knowing the typical
Yeah.
Florida redneck as I do, the mental mechanism was probably, hey, there ain't no closed season on that. Back in the day.
Yeah, sure.
It might be. It might be.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Loutopia podcast. I'm Lou Angel Wolf on the air with Michael Merberg, Chris Gorgeous, and our beautiful Beth Snyder down there, who's going to be working with some people on a film about. Is there a title to the film?
I don't know yet, but
Okay.
I know it's just a documentary on the Florida swamp ape. So.
Documentary on the Florida swamp ape. That's great.
Swamp Boggy Creek.
That's the thing with Loutopia. You never know what's going to cross our path.
No kidding.
Swamp ape.
So, and you know what, and all that stuff, I've been trying to figure out all my life what that swamp ape or Bigfoot or Sasquatch is.
Yeah.
And the legend of it, especially out west, the Native Americans, I mean, they really aren't rattled by it at all.
Right.
It's not like it's just something that great grandpa talked about.
That's there.
Right. One of those
Like
magic
there's
things.
a tree,
that-
there's a cloud, there's a Bigfoot.
one of those things that kind of
It's a
pops
normal-
out around the volcano every now and then.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. So I again, mysteries of the world, and I don't really know, like we were talking about before. We had the CE5 experience Saturday night, Beth, and what I thought, originally was a shooting star, but as because we were all quiet out in the field, and it just went by, and we went, wow, and it had this beautiful long silver tail, and but Michael says
What night was that?
Saturday night, and
Saturday night.
yeah, and
it appeared actually somebody saw it twice, which is kind of the ringer for, this thing's flying around.
yeah, because shooting stars don't circle back around,
Right, exactly, or head the other way in a 90-degree angle.
And then a couple hours
Yeah,
later,
well, Nancy, Saturday night, Nancy had the experience with the red glowing lights again.
Ah,
I wasn't with her, but she had that
that
experience.
doesn't surprise
again,
me
so
at
it's
all.
interesting.
wow. Well,
You see, you're connected. You're connected.
Well, we were. I had a beautiful time out there in the field, and just grounding, and just kind of neutralizing all my energies, and it really was a tremendous time, and one of the of recent. One of the few times where I've actually been able to clear my head. I've actually been able to
Hit the reset button.
yeah, and not think about anything for a while. I mean, and I wasn't worried about work or anything else, or my career, or my personal life. There was no issue. I was in this beautiful neutral place, and I'll be honest with you, if the extraterrestrials came and landed in the field, I'd have got on their craft and just left.
Right.
I'd miss my mom, I'd miss my son,
And you can come back yesterday.
and I'll come back yesterday.
You're gonna leave. You're
Problem
gonna leave Mrs. Jones hanging with where's my windows, man?
Yeah, and you know
What
what
happened to
else?
my French doors?
Yeah,
Lou?
and you know what else? If you're thinking about getting a dog, you can't do that if you have a dog.
Unless they take the dog, too.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
it worked for Billy Pilgrim.
Leave your dog. Awful. Awful.
Well, I'll send him a space text.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll love that.
But
And Mike, I have a question for you. Have you ever, in the groups that you hang with CE5, do any of those guys ever do hypnotic regression? Has anyone been what you would call abducted and kind
Oh,
of
yeah,
gone
yeah,
through
yeah.
a
Actually,
hypnotic reliving of that?
if you go onto my Facebook page, I posted an hour and 18-minute long documentary on Mary Rodwell, who's a hypnotherapist and part of the Free organization and on our board of directors. And
brilliant!
And she regressed a fellow from Australia, and really quite interesting. It was you can tell from the way he comes out of the regression that his experiences were real, and he just looked so relieved after the regression. It's like, wow, that guy really,
Nice.
He did go through some stuff. So if you do, just I forgot the name of it. I posted a Lee Spooner in my group, sent it to me late last night or early this morning, and I took a look at it. So
That's interesting.
yeah, you'll
Good. Yeah, I'll go back to him.
Mary has treated over 3,000 cases of extraterrestrial contact throughout the world. So she's
Fabulous.
the foremost authority on it.
Wow.
So.
I didn't know that. See, that's why I need
That's
extra.
amazing.
I need extra time to read
Yeah,
all those
absolutely.
articles.
I know. Well, there's so much information now, right? I mean, gosh, there's more information coming at us than anyone could process in a lifetime.
Yeah, you're exact, and like
Yeah.
we were just talking about, the ETs led to the skunk ape lead, and
Right.
and your life and your time online is spent the same way. It just rabbit hole into rabbit hole into rabbit hole, and
Well, and to your point about organization, so I have always been a big proponent of scheduling your time, and
Yes.
so definitely social media and cell phones and the internet are a big time thief of time. So, limiting yourself to those activities and, kind of scheduling out what you're going to do, I think can be really, really beneficial to help you feel like you're, accomplishing things. Because if not, you really can feel super overwhelmed and, that you're never getting ahead of anything.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I'm feeling with my time right now. It's like everything is done just in the nick of time. It's like there's no casual stroll up to turn things in or whatever. It's always here. It's like I can finally go. Here's what you were looking for.
Coming from the guy that arrived here exactly 13 seconds before the show starts.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. These kind of things get you frazzled, and and like I said, it leaves me doing a pretty good job at everything, but I really want to be excellent at least a couple things. So,
well, prioritize though. Take that time. You might like to read that book, The Dip.
Okay.
It really helps you learn how to quit. And there's sometimes things you just have to quit.
Yeah.
And say,
yeah.
you know what? It's just not worth it. It's not, the payoff's not really going to be there for me in the end, and it's stealing my time and my energy from the things that I could really excel at or could, really become best in the world, right? In quotes at.
Yes. Well, Beth, thank you so much for your input, and good luck with your skunk ape project. And
She goes, why do you keep calling it a skunk ape? She said swamp ape.
whatever, it's all the same thing.
It was interchangeable. They called it both, actually.
Oh,
It's
okay.
been used for both.
Yeah, Florida swamp ape, skunk ape. Yeah, I think they have more red hair than the traditional Bigfoot. So they must be of original Irish descent, perhaps. I'm not sure.
Brought over on the Mayflower.
It's got these dashing green eyes.
What are you looking
Take
at?
a Guinness out to the woods.
Who you calling a cinnamon?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? But oh man, what a crew. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to the Loutopia podcast. That's Beth Snyder over there. Hey, if you're listening, please subscribe to the channel and send us a like and share it with your friends.
Like the video, not send us a like. Like the video. Like my video.
Like my video.
Yeah, there you go.
Somebody like it.
Like all my
and,
videos.
And view it. I got a bunch of them out there. And there's 120 of them or so now. And we're here almost every Tuesday night. Very, very. It's the highlight of my week when I get to congregate with my friends. You can get hold of Beth at BethSnyderHypnosis.com. She's down in Sarasota. And if you're looking for a wonderful metaphysical shop with if you got a bunch of questions in your head, I know the Ohm Shop has some answers for you. That's TheOmShoppe, the OhmShoppe.com. So you can catch them online, or actually the best part is visiting the store in person down there in South Sarasota on Tamiami Trail. Michael Merberg, I know you're working hard. DisabilityAttorney.net, helping people get the right stuff.
Still employed, helping the disabled.
Still employed, helping the disabled. Chris, I know you got a full docket.
Yeah, I'm working shows Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
And are they private shows?
2 are sold out in the Villages, Summerfield, and then I'm at Brennan's in Holiday Friday night.
Be careful up there in the Villages. One of the largest rates of venereal diseases.
I'll try to restrain myself.
Yeah, you should. You should.
Why would I
Be
be doing
careful
it?
because they look younger now with Botox. So you don't know what you're getting into.
They have Pez dispensers full of Viagra up
You
there.
sick
Actually,
little monkey.
the CVS store there up at the Villages sells more Viagra than any other store in the country.
Trender.
Yeah.
It's a trender.
Well, it's kind of funny, though.
It's hilarious.
The guys drive up in their golf carts to pick up their Viagra prescriptions.
I don't know if you saw in the paper last year, there was a stolen golf cart ring up there. Guys, there was a golf cart chop shop up there.
I'll make sure I bring my handgun with me. Jesus. So I don't get killed by the silver hair mafia.
Hey, I tell you what. As soon as I remember what I'm mad at, I'm going to tell you. But
Pimp my golf cart.
yeah. But I got some comedy dates coming up. I can't remember where.
Where's their website? Are they on their website?
Oh, I'll put them up on my Facebook page.
Facebook.
See, that's the other thing. I also feel behind on all my web posts. I have a handsome, beautiful, talented son who I'm going to get right on it, Dad. So, I don't know where he got that from, but we're supposed to get all that stuff going too.
Get right on it, Chief.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the Loutopia podcast. Like us, subscribe to the channel, and we're going to have shows on. There's lots of shows you can watch from the past. And if you're in the Tampa Bay area this week, ladies and gentlemen, one of my best friends on the planet, Tom Rhodes, is playing at Side Splitters Comedy Club, a great show. And Cam Bertrand is back in town for some tours, too. You can look on his page. There's some really, really great comedy out there. Do take some time to laugh, ladies and gentlemen. The Loutopia podcast is about health, humor, and well-being, and we think all those things kind of blend together for a happy existence in these confusing times. Thank you so much. Hopefully next week my sinuses won't be as bad, and we're going to rock on. You guys have a great week, and thanks for listening.